What is up, guys? Welcome back to Scene Invaders Podcast, episode number 394.
Cheers for burritos. I'd love to take you out for a burrito.
What the fuck was that?
every week, I don't know what's happening, but that's my favorite part.
I wasn't even trying to do anything that time. It just like I pulled up a YouTube from earlier, and I guess it was just spinning in the background.
I heard burrito, and I can't lie.
I would like
excited.
to take you. I would like to take you out for a burrito. Okay, first of all, I hate to tell you guys this. I'm leaving that in.
I was about to say,
oh my god, you have to. Yeah,
that's the title of the episode.
Yes. Can I take you out for a burrito?
Oh,
that is classic, Mr. Coach, right there.
That
Mr.
was
Coach.
so good. That was so good.
Hi, emergencies aside, how are you tonight, sir?
Well, it's episode 394. We are without our burritos, but we have a lot to discuss this week. We have what's new on TV, what's new in the movies. We have a installment to a classic sci-fi, almost classic. So I just said classic twice. There's a reason why I usually don't host.
It is a classic. No, come on, keep it up, man. You're great.
Coach has been through a lot tonight, guys. There's been emergencies on deck and things that need to be dealt with. So it's been a hell of a night for Scene Invaders so far, guys.
So yeah, we're a little punchy here. We're starting at the end, and you know, let's kind of just hop right into it. So
it's been fun.
Mr.
Brad, how are you?
You're gonna lead us off. How are you doing tonight, Brad?
I'm doing okay. Well, I have to say it. How's it going, eh?
Chad, how are you tonight?
I'm good, man. It's
Dave,
been a good
hello.
night.
Good to see you.
Hello, Dave.
Hello, nurse.
And here we go. Okay. So what's new? We've introduced everybody. I'm going to kind of repeat myself a couple of times just because I don't know. I just keep talking. But Brad, what's new for you this week?
What's new? Let's see. I checked out a few things on every screen available, but the first one, I'm going to talk about the small screen, and this kind of popped up, and I was very happy it did, and that was Kite Man, Hell Yeah.
Okay.
A spin-off animated fare from the Harley Quinn cartoon show that debuted quite a while ago, because they're up a lot of seasons, and Kite Man is a hapless villain whose superpower is he has a kite on his back.
Sounds legit. I swear to God, guys, too, like every week, at least one of y'all hit me with something that I've literally never heard of. So, just like the listeners tonight, guys, I'm tell me about Kite Man.
Kite Man is an original Batman villain. I'm not even sure who invented him. It sounds like a Jack Kirby kind of thing, but yeah, he is a gliding villain, pretty much good fodder for Batman. And since the Harley Quinn show just kind of mined all the ridiculous villains and made fun of them, basically, Kite Man was definitely one that was in the forefront. He has rich parents and is kind of just like a hapless loser, and was engaged to Poison Ivy. And on this spin-off show, he owns a bar with his girlfriend, another D-list villain, the Golden Glider, who has magical skates. And they just kind of get into ridiculous antics. And there's plenty of crossover with the Harley Quinn cartoon. If you were a fan of that, you've already watched this. And it is just, oh my God. Teen Titans Go did it first with parroting all the ridiculousness that is really the DC universe. And I'm sorry, DC fanboys, there's so much stupid things to really glom onto and have fun with. And if you can't have fun with something, you can't really love it.
Sure.
I mean, with characters like, even Marvel has them. They have a guy named Stiltman, and he has stilts.
Holy shit.
There's the Rainbow Raider. There's like Captain Boomerang and the Calendar and the Calculator. It's these things have been around for almost 100 years. They can't all be winners, but I'm glad that Kite Man, hell yeah, because that's his catchphrase,
Hell
is
yeah.
hell yeah.
And I said hell yeah, and I didn't even mean to.
Kite Man, hell yeah.
So this
So-
is a series, right?
Oh, it is. It is. I think
Okay.
it's like 6 or 8 episodes, but I watched the first couple and was vastly entertained because
It sounds fun as hell.
it's silly. It's silly. It is turn your brain off and have some fun.
So the teenager in me can't let this go. Kite Man first appeared in Batman 133 in August of 1960 and was created by writer Bill Finger and artist Dick Sprang.
Ooh, Dick Sprang and Bill Finger.
So the combination of Finger Dick did create Kite Man.
Well, fans of Batman will know that Bill Finger had a very prominent role in Batman's creation.
Okay.
He actually came up with the original art for Batman. Batman originally, if you look back, his very first drawing, he was wearing a yellow costume with a red cape and purple gloves.
Oh shit. Okay.
And Bill Finger really streamlined him.
Yeah.
And gave him the Batman that we know.
I was going to say that felt necessary, maybe I would say.
Don't listen to Bob Kane. Bob Kane is, I've never used this word, but I can honestly use it now. He is a charlatan. He is the worst of the worst. Unfortunately, he's a man that came into prominence and just really screwed over Bill Finger.
Sure.
With money. Bill Finger's no longer with us, but his estate really should be doing much better. And if you look at the recent DC movies, you'll see that Bill Finger, his name is back on the credits. So hopefully some justice happened.
Yeah. The DC movies have been.
And he created Kite Man.
Hell yeah. I just want to say hell yeah as much as I can now.
Oh, I think so.
What's the basic premise of the show?
Oh, Kite Man, hell yeah. He is, like I said, he's a lovable loser. And he runs a villains bar where all of the DC list characters come just to hang out. The henchmen, the ne'er-do-wells, the guys looking for work, the Legion of Doom might pop in to like mine some talent, but they don't because they're all D and Z listers. And if you are a big comic fan, you will find that, yeah, these are all legit characters. And Bane from Harley Quinn shows up because he smarted off to Lex Luthor and needs a job. So now he's a bouncer working for tips at Kite Man's bar.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Fuck yeah.
Like I said,
where are you watching this?
Oh, it's on Max.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Which is Crave in Canada.
Gotcha. I know we've been talking about it recently, guys. Like I'm probably soon maybe going to be on like Max. And
yeah, you got to get Max. Yeah, it's Crave in Canada and it's Max in the States, but
same thing, man.
And
they have some good people really tied to this. You got Michael Imperioli, you got Jonathan Banks from Breaking Bad fame.
Mm-hmm.
You know, your usual, like if it's an animated thing, you got Phil Lamar doing voices, Margaret Cho, and then all the guest stars look amazing. Just basically a lot of the people coming over from Harley Quinn.
Harley Quinn.
You have not watched this though, right, Coach?
No, but I am fully versed in the Harley Quinn verse.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Where this is, I'm going to assume this is an R-rated comedy, right?
Very much so. Oh, there is F-bombs and more, and a lot of gratuitous sex and violence. So,
yeah. Oh, I'm home, guys. That's amazing to me.
Hell yeah.
That sounds amazing. No, go ahead.
No, I'm sorry, I'm just kind of scrolling through it. And then, of course, prior to his death, Lance Riddick recorded all of his dialogue for Lex Luthor in this one.
Oh, shit.
Oh,
so
and he is great. He is fantastic. The voice for Lex Luthor, my voice for Lex Luthor back in the day when I was a kid was Clancy Brown.
Mm-hmm.
But this is a very, very worthy replacement. Yes, really great. No,
Gotcha.
it is fun. I'm really enjoying it. When I've got nothing else to watch, I put that on and I watch, and I just laugh my ass off.
But when you're at the end of an episode, are you like dying to hit next on
Yep.
it? Or okay,
Yep, because I want to see what stupid adventures they get into.
gotcha.
And it has Keith David as Darkseid.
Okay,
So one of the greatest voices ever.
love it. No, it's. I mean, you even sold me, guys. Like, I'm a fan of Harley Quinn. She's a new one for me. We all know I'm newer probably to comic book shit than anyone else here, and I like her, man. I think she's cool as hell. I'm excited for Joker too, and I think that's gonna be a bit different take on on this character. But even like,
Still
wait,
fun.
what was the Suicide Squad? The first one, I did not like that movie, but
Nobody
I liked Harley Quinn, and she was
Yes.
fucking great. She was the standout from that, and
Yeah.
an
Well,
interesting
Margot Robbie.
character. Yeah, that too. That doesn't hurt. That's for sure.
Well, I think you'd like the show itself, the Harley Quinn show. It's basically Harley sheds herself of Joker, and
Okay.
basically kind of goes out on her own. And just the way the show does, it makes her into her own character rather than a sidekick.
Yeah, she's
She's
not the
powerful
Joker's
enough,
girlfriend.
Hell yeah, I'm into that for sure.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
This is the name of the show tonight, guys. Hell yeah.
It's got to be hell yeah. Yeah.
It has to be, man.
Well, after that, I kept on watching some TV, and I watched a show that was on Apple, and that was called Bad Monkey. Now, Bad Monkey stars one of my favorite characters who always plays the same character, which could really be himself, Vince Vaughn.
Mhm.
I'm not mad at that sometimes. Jason Bateman's
No,
great
neither am
at
I.
that, and I love
I-
him. So.
I think he's great at playing Vince Vaughn. And Vince Vaughn plays a suspended detective who is kind of still within the good ranks of his police. What is even the terminology? His police captain. Captain doesn't like him.
Yeah, he's
His job.
a disgraced detective.
Yes, disgraced detective because of what he did to his girlfriend's husband. Yep, that's a phrase.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
he is tasked to bring the remains of a severed arm to, what is it? Like
The mainland, basically,
the
up to
mainland.
Miami. Yeah,
I'm sorry. It's set in
it's
the
set in
Keys,
Key West. Yeah, in the Keys.
which is beautiful. My God, I want to go there right now just after watching the beautiful scenery. And there's a few subplots, really witty banter, and what looks to be a pretty intriguing mystery if that's your jam. It is
Okay.
not really a who done it, but it's a how done it, what
Okay.
done it, like who,
Yeah,
what, where,
I'm
when,
into that
why.
for sure.
Yeah, it does some very interesting narrative moves. It's created by Bill Lawrence, who is, historically known for Scrubs and Ted Lasso and Shrinking, Cougar Town. Like, I mean,
Sin City.
yeah, I mean, he's like a who's who of
Spin
of
City.
TV.
Excuse
Spin
me.
City, yes.
Spin City.
Hell
yeah.
And I think this is kind of him really playing with narrative a lot, in terms of it almost jumps at the beginning, jumps between a couple different stories.
Okay.
As I see, we're going to kind of eventually merge together. I'm going to assume.
Yeah.
It does have a few stories that will have some connective tissue because, well, why would you tell 3 stories, 1 story, 2 stories about within one show? Come on, tell the story. It is, there is going to be some convergence and some back and forth. And
Sure.
I don't know, the way this was shot, the way it's written is just pretty fantastic.
Mhm.
Like Vince Vaughn probably improv'd a lot of his because he has that very Vince Vaughn way, but you have his girlfriend and she is that Jamie King?
It is Michelle Monaghan, who
Michelle
is kind of
Monaghan.
like
I love her.
like she is that 30-something, 40-something, and she's always been that. Like when
Yes.
she was 15 years old, she looked 30, 40.
Okay, right.
Like, you know,
Okay. I don't know why I thought Jamie King, but I
similar. Like
I'm
she's a dark-haired Jamie King.
okay.
Okay.
I'm sure she
They're
appreciates
serving the
us
same energy.
talking about that. Yeah. But
So
yeah,
how many episodes are out of this right now?
right now, I think I watched the first 2. I think the third
Yep.
one just dropped maybe
Okay.
today.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Okay, I have not watched the third one yet, but I know what
Is
I'm
this
doing after this recording.
is this the kind of thing that you could see them like covering on the main Scene Invaders channel?
So the
as
main
far as
Scene
like
I
Invaders,
hope
mystery
so.
goes?
they are
I hope so.
they are actually covering.
Oh, okay. There it
Oh,
is.
sweet.
So like they have some a very good cast. I mean, Vince Vaughn is the anchor. This is a Vince Vaughn vehicle.
Oh, yeah.
However, you have like very very qualified supporting actors and actresses such as Michelle Monaghan. Anybody who knows the show Search Party
Mhm.
will recognize Meredith Hanger.
Mhm.
From that, you have Rob Delaney. You kind of have a kind of who's who, and it's a lot of familiar faces doing just good work. It is hilarious that there is a monkey in the show, and if you go to
I was gonna
IMDb,
say, you knew that was my next question, guys. Like,
Oh,
if
there's
you
a
go,
monkey.
bad monkey.
yes.
Like,
So the monkey's name is Driggs, but he is Crystal the monkey, or I don't know if it's a he or she. I don't know. But
They are.
if you go to IMDb, and I implore you to go to IMDb, Crystal the monkey's little mugshot or picture is Crystal the monkey in a suit and tie.
okay.
I'm going there right now because that's perfectly
Google's
ridiculous.
at our fingertips, guys.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just it's
Oh, and oh my God, and Dave just sent it.
The
Stunning. Nice smile too.
Hold on, I have to look.
Beautiful.
it looks a lot like my prom photo.
You had a
Oh
white,
man,
you had a white
I
suit.
see your prom photo.
La di da. Look who went to prom.
Dog, I can't.
So like Brad, I've been watching this too. I think it has a lot of promise. I will say, like the first episode, I was a little like, okay, I see where we're going. Where are we going?
Yeah, where we at?
Yeah. So like, but I think
Sure.
things picked up a little more. There's enough mystery and enough like, okay, I'm in.
Well, the ending of the first episode really made me want to watch the second episode, and what happened at the end of the second really makes me want to like lean into the third. This,
Mhm.
if it was all on, I hate to say this, and I am not this guy, but I would binge this show
Yeah,
because
yeah.
the rhythm that they really play with is intoxicating. It keeps you there and keeps me very interested. And I'm not ADHD or anything like that, but there's so much else to watch.
Well, it just sounds nice too that you're getting kind of like you said, a how done it instead of a who done it.
Yes.
So the mystery this season, or like for this particular show, is not exactly like who is responsible for this, but how the fuck did this like all come about?
How
and
did it happen?
become a
Right.
thing? Yeah, that's
Yeah.
interesting. I like that.
There's a lot of irons in the fire with this, and I'm looking forward to taking the ride.
Yeah, that'll give Scene Invaders a lot of shit to chew on. I would
Oh
imagine, as
yeah,
well.
yeah.
Theories and all kinds of fun stuff, man.
And I mean,
Check out the Scene Invaders YouTube, both of ours. But yeah, there's a lot of great content, and if you're a fan of Bad Monkey, I know they are going to do it so much justice.
And I already live in this like state of FOMO all the time because of fucking Apple TV mostly, and like the shows and stuff. So,
well, yeah, this is now Bill Lawrence's kind of like third hit on Apple TV in
okay.
a couple years. I mean,
What were the two before this?
Ted Lasso
Ted
and
Lasso,
Shrinking.
Shrinking.
Okay, gotcha. Okay.
Now, Shrinking was more of a Brett Goldstein thing, but I mean, Bill Lawrence was also credited in it as well. And it seems like Apple's just kind of giving them just all the leeway in the world to just like, hey, all right, you have an outrageous concept, play with it.
Yeah, make it work.
We have the clout to let you play with this.
We hope so.
Which is
We hope-
awesome. Yeah, that's dope for sure.
Well, it didn't work for the instigators, but you know,
Okay, right.
it's working.
Really
for them.
quick question about Apple TV, guys. Like, I know they have a ton of original content, but I'm assuming
Mhm.
they also play like regular like studio movies and
No.
Nope. It's
it's
their own-
all original
It's
content.
all their own content or
Dang.
their own movies or their own
Productions.
productions.
Okay. Wow.
So,
I
like,
really
you
didn't
can-
realize that.
You can purchase other movies through Apple,
Okay.
but if you do subscribe to Apple Plus,
Okay.
you get the original movies and TV.
Okay. Gotcha. And I've always been an Android guy, and I mean, I don't know if it's like that for other people. I know you can definitely access Apple TV Plus on a lot of like like smart TVs and streaming boxes and stuff like that. But
on Amazon Fire, Roku,
Yeah, I get on
and all
Amazon,
that.
my Amazon Fire Stick. I get
it's always been a weird like
my Apple.
barrier of entry for me. I think in a way, not that I consume a lot of content on my phone, but it's not a block, but there's just this sort of weird thing that like why I've never really jumped on it or gotten on board with it.
If
Yeah,
you have a
I don't trust.
PlayStation,
I don't trust it either. But yeah, I still watch it.
No, it's not even that. Like I just like I don't know. It just seems I don't know. I'm like, ooh, Apple, like it's over there.
But yeah, I mean, I watch a lot of the Apple stuff. I watch on PlayStation 5
There you
because
go.
they have their own app on that. You know, if you are looking to dabble in Apple, I highly recommend Mythic Quest, which
Mythic
is
Quest,
yes, which is a startup of a video game company with Rob McElhenney from It's Always Sunny.
That sounds amazing. Into it.
That one's actually really good.
It is. Yeah, it is a lot of fun. Yeah, that's everything I've been checking out beyond the Alien movie we're gonna chat about.
We're heading into Alien Romulus in just a few.
Yeah,
yeah, we'll circle back to that. What do you got, Chad?
I'm going to subject you to skincare, and it's a movie.
Skincare is important. The sun is going away because of the summer, but I think you might be talking about something else.
Yeah, and honestly, guys, like the sun is like my biggest foe. I'm terrified of it. I wear SPF all the time, every day, because I do not want to age, guys. And the sun is like we're white guys. I mean, we're just calling it facts, and nothing spoils you faster than the sun as a white person. So SPF all day, guys. But on paper, skincare should be the kind of movie that just absolutely works for me in every way, and I absolutely love. And while I did not love it, I did like it. I want to tiptoe around it just a little bit because I think it is worth watching if you're interested in it. But spoilers abound, so we're going to go with sort of like the official statement about this movie. Famed esthetician Hope Goldman is about to take her career to the next level by launching her very own skincare line. However, she soon faces a new challenge when a rival opens a boutique directly across from her store. Suspecting that someone is trying to sabotage her, she embarks on a quest to unravel the mystery of who's trying to destroy her life. And that's actually a very good summary for this movie. It plays very much like a dark comedy, sort of a black comedy in ways, mixed with a mystery. And I like that. I like those subgenres of film. But for this one, for me, I think it did have a little bit of an identity crisis. I think like the bones here could have been just absolutely spectacular. And Elizabeth Banks, I thought she was great here. She's always fun to watch. She's always fun to watch. And here, especially as you watch this woman who has been like this esthetician to the stars, and that's kind of how she's come up and like built her business. And you watch her just unravel over just even the thought of someone moving it across from her to even like sort of challenge her business and what she's doing right now, and like the insanity that ensues from that is just it's wild. But I mean, it is funny. I think it's entertaining enough at times, for sure. I mean, I think it's always entertaining. I should be fair. It is always entertaining, if a little bit uneven. And like I said, it just had a bit of an identity crisis. It wanted to be a movie, I think, kind of like To Die For with Nicole Kidman, which I think is brilliant.
Okay.
And it just didn't.
I
reach
love
those
that
heights.
movie.
Oh, it's so great. And I think this was definitely kind of emulating that in a way. But it just never reaches those heights. And there are just like sort of, I think, some reveals here and things that I found a little bit messy along the way that if tightened up and held a little bit longer for certain things, and maybe just like, I mean, I don't make movies, guys, so I can't exactly say what goes into all of this, but through this whole entire thing, I was like, oh man, I would have done that. I would have held this here and like done this and all of that. And but I mean, it was an entertaining time at the movies. Like, I mean, hour and 40 minutes, a easy breezy watch. It's shot nicely and it is fun, but it's like, for me, this would definitely be and I hate to say this because independent, like smaller film like this is, since COVID especially, like really kind of getting the shaft and being shit on in cinema and movie theaters. And but for me, I mean, this is just not the kind of thing that you just run out to the theater and see. I'm not mad that I did, but I would struggle to be like, you have to go out right now,
Right.
watch Skincare.
Okay.
I mean, it is interesting. It's a first-time director
Yeah.
who came from music videos. It's obvious that like they had a script that they probably loved, and they probably get, okay, we can attach Elizabeth Banks, who has been a champion lately of independent film.
Well, from what I understand, I think she was
really
quite
has.
passionate about this movie too.
You bring in another name like Nathan Fillion, who has made so much money on TV now that he can kind of do whatever he wants.
And he's solid in everything he does.
Well, he was one of my favorite characters in this movie. I don't want to give away who or what he is, but I thought he was very entertaining and very fun to watch, and kind of exactly like once you get going with him and see what he's about, like exactly the kind of shit you expect from a character like him and what he plays. And it really is fun, guys. Like catch it on streaming, like rent it or whatever, but yeah, don't run out to the theater for it. Had it been a little bit more even, or just like a little bit, I don't want to say smarter, that doesn't feel fair. I think there is a lot of smart here, but it just wasn't smartly arranged.
Okay.
So yeah, it could have used a little bit of tightening up, and like I said, there was an identity crisis, and I think maybe leaning a little bit more into one direction over the other instead of trying to please multiple directions, like black comedy, straight up comedy, mystery, even though maybe even a touch of horror at times. It just felt a little messy to me, but especially as a first-time director, a great first effort and a good watch, guys.
It is kind of creepy because you have, I guess one of the guys in it is Lewis Pullman, who is Bill Pullman's son.
Which
one looks exactly like.
Wait, now I have to look. Hold on, because
loves Bill Pullman.
So he played Jordan in it.
Okay,
but it's a young Lone Star. Like it's
his character is so interesting here too. And I don't know what I was listening to recently, but I just heard someone talking about Lewis Pullman and talking about how he could reach, maybe like potentially like great levels of stardom.
Yeah, he was really good in Lessons in Chemistry with Brie Larson. He was in Top Gun Maverick as Bob.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think he had one of the leads in Outer Range, which has been like a kind of cultish. I think that's on Amazon with Josh Brolin.
Okay.
Outer Range. Yeah, I watched that. It kind of.
Well, it wasn't until I just looked at his photo now that I was like, Top Gun Maverick. Hi, I just sit here and talk on a fucking movie podcast, guys, but I have no idea what's going on otherwise with actors or any of that kind of shit. But yeah, no, that's what hit me immediately. And yeah, I can definitely see that. And yeah, he's interesting, man. He's one of the more interesting characters here, but he's just used wrong, man. In my opinion, without spoiling shit, he's just used in the wrong way. And I would have not changed anything about his character.
Mm-hmm.
I would have just changed how they gave it to us, I think.
So I would look for him. He is going to be in the new Salem's Lot coming out. I think he's the lead in that.
It's going just to streaming, right? Salem's Lot?
I believe so.
Yeah.
But I know that's
been
coming
in production
soon.
forever.
Yes. So it's expected sometime this year. I'm not sure what streaming service it is, but I did see a bunch of it. Like, oh, it's coming soon. I mean, good for him that he's
agreed.
able to.
And honestly, like strangely enough, as like the resident kind of horror boy here, I've never seen the original Salem's Lot. So I don't really have any nostalgia for that, and I also have nothing against it. So don't come for me, guys. But yeah,
Don't come at me, bro.
I'm gonna watch. I'm gonna definitely watch that, and I'm kind of curious about what they're going to do now because it feels like now, if any time ever, Stephen King properties aren't always successful, but if anything, now is the time they're sort of starting to find like a little bit of a stride with that kind of
They're
stuff.
pretty
So.
ripe to be mined. And
Well, I mean, he's got tons of stuff, and they've tried and tried and tried over the years, and there are very few successful attempts. But now it's like people are finally kind of getting a little bit like
mine
what
it,
he's about, and
massage it, make it work.
Yeah, exactly.
So Salem's Lot is coming to Max streaming in, let's go, October.
Ooh,
and it's actually being directed by Gary Duberman, who has been killing it with as the writer and as mainly the writer to a lot of the Annabelle movies, the Nun and Nun 2. And
none of that.
And he actually did the screenplays to both of the It movies.
Okay, interesting. Some definitely hits and misses there, at least in my opinion.
Yeah, but at least he's ever present. He has some aspect and sense to it. Just because they don't always hit,
he's playing with the right crayon box, but he ain't creating the best pictures yet.
Fair enough.
Annabelle Creation, though, I'm gonna say as a horror guy, I thought was incredibly solid, especially following up an incredibly bland and lackluster like first entry in Annabelle. Annabelle Creation is so great. And then I thought the first It movie was incredible. Oh my god, I left that shit like I'm shook, guys. Like this really like was way beyond anything that I expected. But It too, that was a rough one, guys. I hated it.
Did not hit. I will
say
it
had an incredible opening, but after that, no.
I will say to pull back the curtain a little bit. Like I can't do horror. It's just, but. It is all because of the made-for-TV movie It with Tim Curry, and like it just hit me at the wrong age, wrong time, and it has stuck with me for way too long.
Oh my god, I definitely understand stuff like that for sure. But yeah,
come on down in the sewer, Coachy.
Yeah, right. Horror, check with me, Brad. Sometimes, Coach, maybe never. If Coach is endorsing it, though, I mean, I'm gonna have to say that's probably a 10/10 endorsement if it's horror and Coach is like,
pretty good.
Yeah, get on that shit. But yeah, skincare guys, watch it, but don't go out of your way for it. That's kind of where I'm at on it. But one thing I would personally go out of my way for is Alien Romulus, guys. This is a movie that I'm a fan of the director, Fede Alvarez. The 2013 Evil Dead, I thought was incredible. And Don't Breathe, while it has some moments that are certainly memorable and maybe polarizing, I thought also was incredible. It's an exercise in tension that is just not unparalleled, but there are few like it in modern sort of like horror storytelling. So I thought he might be the perfect fit for something like this. And what he kind of gave us was a Don't Breathe in space attached to the Alien franchise. And for me, I mean, I went in with an open mind anyway, but also some expectations that were not the highest in the world, because I think we've all come, if you're an Alien fan, to learn that you don't go into modern Alien movies with the highest expectations, because the shit is a crapshoot. You just never know what you're getting. But this one, for me and the person I went and saw it with that night, absolutely worked in almost every way. Yes, it has problems, but I thought this was incredibly exciting. And I know Brad saw it too, so.
Well, I did enjoy it. I enjoyed the look of it. I enjoyed the aesthetic, and they got a few things kind of original, but all in all, it is truly hard to do an original Alien movie. They have a lot of, they have a really high bar. Even the poor ones are still pretty good. And it is really hard to find something original to do with this property. First of all, it always happens in space. It is very rarely on a planet, and even when it is within a planet, the planet is so space-like it doesn't even matter.
Yeah, it's just all very spaceshipy.
You're never gonna have a terrestrial alien running around. I mean, there was one in Prometheus, but it was such a weird landscape that it might as well have been a spaceship.
Well, people were mad at Prometheus for going too far off of what Alien and Aliens is known for.
Well,
and then people are mad at this one for like sticking too close to what Alien is known for.
That's it. Now this is by far a perfect movie or anything. I enjoyed it for what it was. I enjoyed the look, but
it's beautiful. It's one of the best looking things I've watched.
It is an amazing aesthetic, and the characters were, well, forgettable. But I mean, you're there for the xenomorphs, and you're there to see what these xenomorphs are going to do to these fragile humans.
Sure.
And they did have a couple, I don't know, like a lot of Easter eggs.
Oh yes,
fan
service.
A lot of member berries. Oh, they said that and this and this, but
yeah,
we were. My girlfriend went and saw it with a friend of hers, and she is the biggest Alien fan, as to the point that we're looking for xenomorph tattoos that is going to fit her.
Okay.
And she was disappointed because it was too member berry.
Yeah. I've seen a lot of that for sure. I mean, for me, like I thought Kaylee Spaney, who was in Civil War earlier this year.
Oh, she's amazing. I'm not going to knock any of the performances. I will not knock any of the performances. I will not knock the look or the feel of it. But one thing I will knock is you have such an intriguing premise. We all know the face huggers. We all know what the acid for blood.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's my Paul Reiser impression. And we all know what these things, like the mouth inside the mouth. But they push the envelope to evolve the alien to some kind of humanoid offspring.
Spoilers, guys. We're going to put that in the notes.
Ridiculous hybrid. And I'm sorry, it was already done.
Yeah, in Resurrection, I agree.
That was done in Resurrection.
Yeah.
Okay.
The alien sneaking around was done. The trying to get the face hugger off, it was done. They got the face hugger off, which was good. Now I don't understand how this face hugger impregnated the young lady in 14 minutes, while the original one took 24 hours.
Okay, right. Right. Well, see, I thought in this one, for like the first time, really, since the original one, in my opinion, I thought they made the face hugger scary again.
The face hugger was truly terrifying. Scary.
Oh my! It's so. Oh my god! It's just so. It's tension upon tension upon tension. Even with just these are sort of like the beginning creatures that you're getting into at the beginning of the film. Of course, that's how it always plays out. I think in the movie. But I thought they made them scary again. They felt threatening. You felt like they're kind of like you were like against all odds, sort of against even just these like small spider-like alien creatures. And that's.
Chad, I'm going to interrupt you. Your audio's gotten a little weird.
Oh, uh-oh. Hold on, guys.
We could all hear it, but it just sounded like you're in the alien spaceship itself.
It's because my mic fell off, guys. Welcome to Scene Invaders.
Well, in space, no one can tell when your mic fell off.
And sorry, guys, I'm not sure where I left off, but I was going to say this was the first movie in a while for me where the face huggers really, like, they felt really genuinely scary to me, like a real threat. And before, I think for the most part, they always kind of play them as a one-off thing. And here, you're kind of faced like our characters that we come to know. And yeah, they're not the most fleshed out characters ever. You get Rain, played by Kaylee Spaney. David, who is our like synthetic or like android here, who, in my opinion, is the MVP here, steals the show.
Oh, I love
most range.
I really did love him.
And he just has so much to do here, and he really pulls it off. But
everybody else is rather forgettable. They were rather. This one's gonna get the face hugged.
Well, you're watching people that are like basically just being kind of lined up to die, essentially.
Yeah.
And I'm okay. I'm pretty okay with that. So I thought
Right.
they gave us enough
But
for that while keeping a couple of characters like.
they had some pretty good jump scares, and it was fun to see the alien, and it was kind of really cool to see the company's forever involvement
Oh
to
yeah.
obtain this animal for the reason they wanted to, because, well, basically they think that this animal is the perfect being.
Sure.
And
When you see so many parallels in that to even like stuff that goes on, I think today with like weaponized
exactly
illnesses
weaponizing
and all that kind of
anything and
stuff,
everything.
things you have no business being involved in that you are like obsessed with obtaining and controlling, and so I thought that was interesting for sure.
Well, they did actually have one thing that made me say, finally, Jesus, it's been years and it finally happened. Spoiler alert, somebody has acid dripped on them and they die.
Oh my god, no, it was so dope too. Oh,
This
it's so
magic,
good.
this magic super acid that burns through everything and has been splashed on Hick's face and didn't burn through the armor. It could burn through the hull of everything. Actually, kind of drips on a guy and
Yeah,
drips on
hell
his
yeah.
chest and eats through his heart and kills him. Thank you.
Right.
And
Yeah, no, it's so
but the guy was a
cool.
dick, so nobody cared.
Yeah, oh, the worst character in the movie, and honestly, I would have liked to have seen him get an even worse death than what he got here. But
You wanted the
he's
android
still
to tear
pretty
his
damn
head.
good.
You wanted the android to tear his head off out of malice.
I wanted someone to like put him on a rope, like outside in space, and just drag behind. Like I hated him. He was awful.
But I mean, it does roll that, like, okay, you're in space, so guess what? The airlock is going to make
Yeah, of course.
an appearance, and I don't know. I didn't hate it or anything. I didn't
Yeah.
love it. It was very pedestrian for me.
Yeah, I mean,
I enjoyed watching it, but the more I like thinking about movies once I'm done, I
sure.
like the high of leaving the movie theater.
Yeah,
Like I'm probably the worst person to rate a movie as soon as I see it, because
Okay.
I think all movies are great.
You gotta think
And
about
you give me a week and then I'll really rate it. It's like, you know what? I don't think that would have happened.
yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
So
I mean,
what's
for
the
me, like-
legacy? Like, what's the long-term legacy of this movie? Is this like in 5 years, are we going to remember this movie?
I think definitely for me, this
yes,
is
you know what?
top level
You
Alien.
you will for the one or two things that it did,
Right.
but there was 1,000 things it could have done.
Yeah, and 1,000 things that it panders to the fans, man, and like some people are on board with that, and some people are not. Like Ian Holm, who is dead, they should they have resurrected this man in CGI to play like a half android here in this movie? In my opinion, absolutely not. I don't think that character was ever needed. I think it was a little bit of like they were hoping for those nostalgic feels by seeing an actor that was in the original,
Mhm.
that people they know that face and stuff. And for me, that didn't exactly work. And there were some lines of dialogue that were lifted from other movies, straight up, just straight lifted.
Get away from
The-
her.
Yeah, oh, God, yes, get away from her, you bitch. And I was like, no, why you
Yeah,
guys?
that bothered me. I don't know if there was a straight lift from any of the Alien movies. I can't remember of it.
That was the one that like that's the one that stuck out.
No, I'm talking about the die motherfucker. I don't know if that was
okay.
ever.
I'm not sure about that one either. I'm not as well. I'm mostly versed in the first couple, and then this one.
Yeah.
I guess, like, let me rephrase the question of 5 years from now, are you still thinking about this movie? And I'll give you two scenarios. If there is not another Aliens project in the pipeline or coming out, does this still remain, in the lexicon in your brain? Or if there is another Aliens coming out, well, when there's another Aliens
there
coming
is.
out,
Yeah, oh yeah. At this point, with the Galactic,
where is this going to sit in the lexicon? Like,
for me, rather unremarkable.
okay. For me, this sits right. The first Alien is my favorite of the two. You're either an Alien or an Aliens person.
Mhm.
Alien
agree.
is more horror. Aliens is more action.
yes.
This sort of tries to bridge the gap between the two. I think this is the most horror feeling Alien film since the original, but it
Mhm.
does try to like amp up the action a bit. But for me, I think this sits alongside those first two as my third favorite by far.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Oh, for sure. I like pretty much all of them to one extent or another. But like this one, I've seen it twice. I went and saw it on the Thursday night when it opened at a fan event. And then I went and saw it again on Monday this week. And it held up for me just as much the second time. Like I left the theater like kind of on a high. Like for me, I was shocked. Honestly, when I left the theater on Thursday from the fan event, I was like, I don't know how anyone who likes Alien is going to leave this and like not be feeling this, but there are plenty of people who are not. So I was off base on that one.
To each your own, like I said. We're
Well,
trying
there are people I know that love this franchise and did not like this movie at all, and I was shocked. Honestly, I was shocked because this felt like a return to form to me. This felt like a course correct for some of the weird, like
I think
wacky
honestly,
shit we've gotten.
You just kind of nailed it right there. It was return to form, and I've seen a lot of movies. I want something original.
Yeah, I get that.
And like I said, with a creature with a subject this intriguing, it shouldn't be that hard to write something original. And people, they just seem to be going back to the old tropes of, well, this is tried and true. It'll do it again.
We've seen so much criticism over like Prometheus and then Alien Covenant that it strayed too far from what people wanted from Alien. So I think Fede Alvarez coming in, I think it's clear that he's definitely a fan of this franchise because they're pulling bits and pieces from kind of like all over this franchise, even like Prometheus and Covenant.
Well, Coach, you were saying that he got a little bit of inspiration from one of the current video games.
Yeah, even Alien Isolation, man. Hell yeah.
Yeah,
you could definitely tell that.
Brad, you would turn me on to that game as well.
It's scary, and I didn't know if I was having fun with it anymore, so I didn't finish it.
It was too much. I remember Brad was saying it was on one of those like PlayStation does this thing where you get a couple free games for a month. And like I think this one and the Predator one were both featured like kind of back to back.
Yeah.
And I remember Brad raving about it, and I played it for a little bit, and I was like, "Yep, no,
yep, that's kind of where I was." I love horror guys,
run around murdering stuff. Come on, you get to shoot.
Well, I was really like, I'm not having fun here anymore, guys. I'm so fucking stressed out that I don't even want to like move my character because I don't know what's happening, and I don't like any of this. So it just became not fun for me.
I shouldn't have to play video games with the lights on. Like,
yeah, right. No shit, dude. It's just it can push things too far for sure.
Well,
I think this is a classic, man. It's for me personally. I think this is a classic in the Alien franchise, and like I said, very comfortably for me sits amongst those first two, not ahead of either of them, but like just barely right after. And it's just it's just entertainment, man. Like it's not deep, it's not pushing necessarily this franchise in any directions that it hasn't been in before, even though like when you get that reveal at the end, and I mean you get Isabella Merced, I don't know if I'm saying her name right, but she's a huge role in here, and as soon like you find out early in the game or in the movie that she is pregnant, and as soon as you hear that shit, you know that's coming back to
some
you know that's going to play a role later on,
and something weird does happen.
And she gives birth to like a alien Prometheus creature, basically. My entire theater on opening night, everybody collectively said when that thing showed itself, and I was with them. I was like, "What the fuck?" And I think that is going to be a make or break moment for people.
That reminded me of The Fly Part 2, not with Jeff Goldblum, but and it was just it was kind of like, what are we doing?
Yeah, I mean it's weird for sure, and I mean it is Resurrection vibes because you have that weird like alien baby thing at the end of Resurrection, and some people didn't love it, but this one did work for me. I think this film is stunning to look at. Like
it is visuals. The visuals and the mood is what sold it for me. Like I said, we're doing a system of buy, borrow, and burn. For me, this is a high borrow.
Okay, gotcha. See, for me, this is definitely a buy. I will say it is stunning, but there is some dodgy CGI here and there. a little bit, and that end creature is part of that. I think there's some of it is a little bit practical, but when you watch this movie that has invested so much time in creating practical effects for like the aliens, the face huggers, and all of that, and you're watching this like practical at times, like weird new creature that they're giving us that also at other times looks kind of bad. It
Looks
does
very video game.
It detracts a little bit from the experience, but overall, man, this is a huge buy for me. This is, I think it's one of the most rewatchable Alien films. It's just so much fun.
I mean,
That's
both of
real
the young girls in this are definitely on my radar in terms of what they either have done. Well, I'm sorry. One is what she has done, and the other is what she will do. So,
well, there is
like,
that because there is absolute talent
yes,
on display here.
like is it Callie Spaley? I always
Love her.
butcher the name.
Kaylee Spaney,
Yeah, she is absolutely great in Civil War, absolutely great in Priscilla. And it's funny, the other girl, Isabella Merced, she's not coming from good stuff, but she is going to good stuff.
oh, she's definitely going to good stuff, judging from this.
She is Dina in the Last of Us show, which is a key character in it. And she's also Hawk Girl in, not Hawk to a Girl, Hawk Girl.
Oh dear. Dear.
In Spider-Man.
There it is.
That's Spider-Man, Superman. I'm sorry.
I was about to say, there's no Hawk Girl in Spider-Man.
Yeah, the Hawk to a Girl thing really threw me there. But like, it is funny that like we had Dora the Explorer in space.
Okay,
we did. Yes, we did.
And she was great, man.
She really
liked her. I would like to see her in more horror properties. I think that she definitely is a fit for a scream queen of sorts. And other than Kaylee Spaney, and then I'm not sure the actor's name, the guy who played Andy in this, the synthetic,
I don't,
who was incredible. She was the other standout. Everybody else was a little bit more
generic,
fine to forgettable. But yeah, those three, they're the standouts here. And honestly, like, I know this movie's making money right now. It's already made back more than its budget. So
well, that's good because I do want to see future Alien.
Oh, I'm hoping for more. Like, I'm ready.
But I just I don't know, man. Give me something.
Yeah, and I feel like what they created here, though.
Give me something like in between Alien and between Prometheus Covenant.
Yeah, well, that's happening. There's a show coming called.
Yes, there is. There is
Alien. I forget what it's called. Alien some shit. It's a TV show, but it takes place, I think, just before the original Alien movie, where this takes place between Alien and Aliens. So you're kind of getting between like Covenant and Alien with the TV show, and then this, like I said, Aliens. But this, I think, it introduced so many things and so many interesting things that it has a lot of places where it can go from here. Because, like I said, it's encompassed sort of the whole franchise. So they can play it in a lot of different directions if they want to be a little bit riskier with the next iteration.
Well, one thing I will say, in space, everybody seems to have the same underpants.
Oh, okay, fact. Well, what I thought was funny, she was in like boxers or whatever, and I just kept thinking back to like the original Alien with Sigourney Weaver, and she was in those like little teeny panties and shit. Like,
yeah,
she's like getting into her thing. I was like, okay, they modernized this for sure. Like, I mean, you're in a much safer outfit with your boxers and your tank top.
I don't know, man. When you're getting in any kind of cryo tube, can you not throw a pair of track pants on?
Can I get some sweatpants? That's where I'm at, guys. Like,
that's where I'm at.
That's what I wear to the movies and shit. But you said what, a high borrow for this?
High borrow.
I'm a high buy for sure.
Very cool.
I think it's it is interesting that we are starting to see a little bit of resurgence in terms of people going to the theater. Like, listen, we're not going back to the olden days, but the last couple of weeks, I mean, we are seeing people return to the theaters, and we have a nice continuation. That being said, what's on your guys' radar for what's coming up in, let's just say, in the next week to a couple weeks?
I mean, hardly a blockbuster, but tomorrow night I'm definitely going to see Strange Darling. I'm so excited about it. I know it's not going to be a huge moneymaker, but it's my most anticipated, probably everything like immediately happening. And then I think probably all of us, or at least I know a couple of us, are going to see The Crow this weekend.
The Crow is definitely on my list. I mean, when I was a kid, I bought the comic book because it looked really cool, and then a movie popped out, and the movie was quite different from the comic book, but it was very cool. And this iteration looks very different from everybody's favorite Brandon Lee movie. So I am a big fan of the actor Bill Skarsgård. He did one of the most original movies ever, Boy Kills World. So I am definitely
I'm a big
going
fan
to
of
check.
him.
I am definitely gonna check this out, and
Yeah,
I know a lot of people
pre-hate this, which makes me a little bit
pre-hate it
sad.
and are gonna
But
hate watch it. And old man yelling at clouds. That's not Brandon Lee. Well, you know what? Brandon Lee is not with us anymore. So
we can't pull an Ian Holm on this one.
oh God, no, please.
No. They probably
And the
could,
love
but I'm
interest-
glad they didn't.
And the love interest is interesting to me. FKA Twig, she's a singer. If you're not into her,
So I was going
music,
to
you
ask
should
you
be.
about her, Chad, because like I've watched a couple interviews and
I know nothing about her.
I know she's a singer or an artist. I guess
I would say art. She makes
safe.
like art pop for sure.
Yeah, like it's not just someone like crooning. It is the look, the style, the everything.
Taking risks. She's not playing along with like. No, she's the love interest.
I know, but is she doing anything on the soundtrack? Because I just remember the '94 Crow movie had a very fantastic soundtrack.
That was a formative soundtrack for sure.
Oh,
I would hope she is. For sure.
I still listen to that Helmet song. Like,
yeah, oh hell yeah, dude.
yeah.
Hell yeah. To bring back the episode title.
Hell yeah.
But no, yeah, FKA Twigs. She is art.
I don't mind remakes. I don't mind reimaginings. I don't mind any of that, because all it will do is hopefully it draws people to the original, to see why other people hated it, to see why you shouldn't have been done. And James O'Barr is a fantastic artist and a hell of a writer. I met him at a con, and he was the sweetest man. I just wish I had my copy of The Crow to have him sign.
Sure.
But he was just there, just talking to everybody, and he is a fantastic man. So
James O'Barr, like you've said, like this is not made for us who have already experienced this. It is made for a new generation. And if we get on board with it, then great. But if we don't, then we have The Crow from 1994 that we can watch all day, every day, as much as we want, and forget this ever happened. But I'd like to remain open-minded, and I know people were off by the look of it and all that kind of shit. But
hey, man, the dude's walking around with a sword and gonna kill bad guys that killed good guys. So come on, that's pretty good.
I guess the only thing that's making me concerned is the director, in terms of like what I've seen. And listen, I'll watch anything with the Skarsgård in it, whether it is Stellan, Bill, or even the one, isn't one of them married to Maggie Gyllenhaal?
Oh, I don't know.
Who's the one? Who was the bad guy in Green?
True Blood?
No, the Ryan Reynolds, Green
Lantern.
Oh, I don't know.
I think he's a Skarsgård.
Okay.
I don't know.
Maybe another. I know there's Stellan, and I know that there's Bill.
There's Stellan, there's Bill,
and Alexander.
There's Alexander, that's the crazy one, hot one that everybody likes, right?
Yeah, and then there's the other one. They're like freaking Dixie cups. You just
right.
One
they're like the Baldwin brothers.
They're like a more talented Hemsworth.
Right. For sure.
But all very pretty.
But I look at the director, and it's kind of like his only other movies are Snow White and the Huntsman and Ghost in the Shell. And I'm kind of like
either of those.
Oh, I've seen both those. Ghost in the Shell, the
live action one, the Scarlett Johansson one.
I like that one.
Okay, I haven't seen it.
Okay, then I will be on the sidelines here. I will be going to see it. Again, I've tried to stay away from the trailer as much as all these. This is the time where everything pops up on your Twitter, and
I've seen images, and that's pretty much
it.
Well, basically, it's a lot of imagery and pretty things, but you don't know what happens. But it's The Crow, so you know what happens.
I mean, yeah, I think there's definitely that. So probably not a thing you have to
as the puritanical member of Scene Invaders family.
Big word.
Yeah, FKA Twiggy really just kind of freaks me out.
Okay, gotcha.
I haven't looked at her that hard.
It's
Oh my
kind of
God.
like the African American lady from the 80s who was like
Grace Jones.
Grace, exactly. Like
okay, I can feel that.
you know what I mean? Like she looks
I
so
did see an
different
image.
than everybody else.
Yeah, I love Grace Jones.
She's artistic in her own thing, for sure.
That's the
Vito
thing.
kill.
And I dug
Yeah.
Grace Jones, but like this gives me like a scary kind of
Maybe
vibe.
intimidating.
It's
Yes.
just like, ooh, where do we find you?
I love scary women. I look forward to seeing this.
And like I said, guys, I recommend FKA Twigs music. And if I'm gonna start with a song, I have to recommend a song tonight. It's "Give Up" by FKA Twigs. It's been a very heavy rotation song for me.
I'm going to my Spotify and checking.
Okay, there it is.
All right.
And yeah, guys listening, get into FKA Twigs. I'm telling you right now, it's pop music, but it's not the pop music you think it is. This is like pushing the boundaries of art and pop and what you expect, and not following trends or rules or any of that kind of stuff. And I think she's incredible, guys.
So is Peter Sarsgaard part of the guards?
God, I don't know. If so, that's a fifth one.
So like,
it's such an unusual last name. You almost think it kind of has to be.
All right, I'm looking at this young lady on my
I'm about to look her up too.
Spotify. No, I'm terrified.
Okay, so
I haven't listened to anything yet.
Peter Sarsgaard is not related to the Sarsgaards. So the European Sarsgaards are the pretty ones.
Okay, gotcha.
Now, Peter Sarsgaard is a talented actor, but he's not one of the pretty ones. Whereas Billy, Alexander, and Stellan are part of the European attractive.
There it is.
All good actors. So listen, watch any movie with a Sarsgaard, but
and you're probably solid.
Avoid Pete.
Hell yeah, Sarsgaard.
Hell yeah, Sarsgaard,
yeah,
for real. And hell yeah, Barbarian. Speaking of smart Sarsgaard, horror people, if you haven't seen that, Barbarian, guys.
Scary as hell.
Oh, I loved it. It was a delight. All right. Anything else you guys?
All right. Well, that pregnant pause. No.
And tell us, guys, what you're listening, like what you're looking forward to, what you're listening to. I'm always into that. But any movies coming up this week? Are you seeing The Crow? Are you already hating The Crow? Many are.
Hopefully, that pregnant pause will not lead to a birth out of your back. So,
oh my God, not again, guys.
Whoa.
Oh man. Well, yes, please like, subscribe, check us out on YouTube, interact with us on Twitter. I mean, find us and talk to us and recommend what you want us to watch. We'll check out what you want as well.
Absolutely.
Of course. Anytime.
We're always looking for topics and we're always looking for interactions. So This is Scene Invaders Podcast signing off.
Well, everybody.
Bye, guys. Thank you.
I like that. I like the signing off. What are you shaking your head at?
Yeah.